Apologies all, we just had a few technical. We good to go, team?
Yes, you can see the screen now.
Cool. Back to the first slide.
Yep, sure, no worries. Perfect.
So we'll start with Alotu, and then we'll proceed with our presentation. Ke tau lot, koe mau tamai o Hewani, mau kore ke tāpua ki a ako, ko mena ke mau whakaoko. Mau tolo no kotoa, koe mau lotu ia, Jesus Christ, ko mau eiki. Amen.
Amen.
Tā mua a whio e o tua tau lotu atunga. Whakatapu, ke te mau tolo no kotoa. Whakatai ki tui o langi, ko hui ko ni whinanga lelei o tau toi au sia a whaklo koen. Māloi lelei, happy Tongan Language Week and warm Pacific greetings to everyone on the call. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Mo Alatini. I'm the Strategic Advisor Pacific here at Ringa Hora, and I'll be co-presenting today's webinar with my colleague Zina Khan, who's the Transformation Lead Pacific here at Ringa Hora. So today we will showcase Ringa Hora's Kele'a report, Elevating Pacific Futures in the Services Sector. So our agenda for today. Talk about the purpose of the report. Then we'll look at a brief description on the Pacific peoples in Aotearoa. Then we'll go into a bit of a deep dive into Pacific peoples in the service sector in Aotearoa. Then we'll have a little pop quiz just to recap everything that we've sort of digested, and then I'll hand over to Zina, who will take us through the key themes that we gathered, insights that we gathered from stakeholders, and then a Q&A session after that. So hoping to wrap up around 12:45, and then we'll open up the floor for questions after that. Maloti. So why did we name the report Kele'a? So the Kele'a is a Tongan word for the conch shell. It's found all over the Pacific. Each piece is unique, beautifully etched in different patterns running across and all over it. In ancient times, the Kele'a was used amongst Tongan tribes to warn others about the unknown ships spotted over the horizon. It was also used to summons people in the community for important events. And it was also used as a musical instrument. For the purpose of this report, Kele'a is defined as a way of summoning or summons or calling out to industry, educational providers, Pacific communities about the value that Pacific people bring to the service sector in Aotearoa. So the project was led by what Pacific communities have told us about the Pacific workforce, communities, and their contributions, with an emphasis on Buy Pacific for industry. So it had four main aims to the project. Firstly, demonstrating the value of the Pacific workforce, learners, and businesses to the service sector. Showcase and share stories of Pacific role models through other Ringa Hora initiatives, such as the We Be Who We See and Hidden Gems initiatives, which are also on the Ringa Hora website. It also includes Pacific role models, showcasing their pathways to employment and career advancement. Kele'a is also a tool to strengthen Pacific workforce development, serving as a culturally grounded, evidence-based resource for guiding industry engagement, informing education and training, and shaping workforce strategies and enabling co-design and cultural competency. It was also wanting it to align with Ringa Hora's workforce development and industry action plans. For those who are unfamiliar with Ringa Hora, we are one of New Zealand's workforce development councils. We support the services sector, everything from hospitality and tourism to real estate, aviation, retail, and more. So our job is to help industry get the skills they need, both now and into the future. We do that by working alongside businesses to define what good looks like in different jobs. We make sure work-based learning and qualifications match what real employers actually need. And we also analyze workforce trends so businesses can plan ahead. Alozi. So here at Ringa Hora Workforce Development Council, we acknowledge the value of the Pacific workforce here in Aotearoa. So Kele'a is underpinned by the Manamoana Outcomes Framework, which was created collectively by the 6 Workforce Development Councils. The values align with the Ministry of Pacific Peoples' values for Pacific: spirituality, love, respect, family, reciprocity, consensus, and collectivism. So the Ohuahumahi Manamoana Pacific Outcomes Framework's vision is to amplify Pacific voices, unite industry leadership with workforce development, forging a future anchored by equity, innovation, and transformation. To achieve this, there's a need to provide Pacific-focused skills leadership, qualifications, and quality assurance. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of Pacific peoples in Aotearoa, just to set the scene. Pacific peoples migrated to Aotearoa in large numbers post-World War II, drawn by labor needs and economic opportunities. And despite facing systemic challenges like the Dawn Raids in the 70s, they have made enduring cultural, social, and economic contributions to New Zealand society. Pacific peoples now represent about 9% of Aotearoa's population, which is approximately 442,000 Pacific people. We have a significantly younger median age group of 24.9 years compared to the general population of 38.1. So this usefulness represents an opportunity for future workforce planning. The Pacific population grew nearly 3 times faster than the national rate between 2013 and 2023. As you know, by 2038, Māori, Pacific, and Asian peoples will make up over half the workforce, significantly reshaping the services sector. Pacific communities still are overrepresented in low-wage jobs. We face higher unemployment and live in overcrowded housing. These conditions contribute to poorer health outcomes and lower educational attainment compared to other groups. However, there's an emergence of Pacific entrepreneurship and economic influence. There's a growing movement of Pacific-owned businesses, particularly in Auckland. Pacific entrepreneurs are active in construction, logistics, and professional services. Their strong values, such as collectivism and resilience, are being integrated into business models, although access to capital and mentorship still remains a barrier. Aussie. So these are the industries that Ringa Hora look after. As you can see, we have 2 main industries. The number at the top are the number of Pacific peoples in those industries. The percentage underneath is the percentage of the total workforce. So the 2,200 people in aviation and airport services, Pacific people make up 11% of that workforce in that particular industry. So we have aviation, airport services, business and professionals, cleaning, contact centers, financial advisory, security and government, hospitality, real estate, retail distribution, tourism, and travel. And I'll go into more detail in the next few slides. So for Pacific peoples in the service sector, there's strong representation in specific industries. Pacific peoples make up 9% of the service sector workforce. That's equivalent to about 103,000 Pacific people in the sector. However, there are still educational disadvantages which impacts career advancement. So about 14% of the Pacific service sector have no qualifications, with 33% in cleaning services lacking any formal credentials. And that's important because that limits mobility into higher paying and leadership roles. There is, however, workforce diversity and cultural strengths. The Pacific workforce, as you know, is not a homogeneous group. We span various ethnicities and skill sets, and this diversity brings cultural richness, community values, and teamwork into service industries that benefit from interpersonal and collective strengths. Exactly the diverse skills needed to serve an increasingly diverse Aotearoa. Sadly, there's still barriers to career progression, systemic issues from limited mentorship, financial constraints, and digital exclusion prevent Pacific workers from advancing. Addressing these is essential to move beyond low-wage, labor-intensive roles into leadership. So we're just going to have a look at some of what do the numbers say. So there's significant growth in Pacific service sector employment. The number of Pacific peoples in the service sector grew from 81,700 in 2017 to 103,600 in 2022. This represents a 27% increase over 5 years, highlighting strong engagement and entry into the workforce. In 2023, there were around 182,000 Pacific people in employment. So more than half of those employed were Pacific people in the service sector. Pacific peoples now, as I said before, make up 9% of the service sector, up from 7% in 2015. This growth indicates better representation in an industry heavily reliant on frontline and customer-facing roles. We are most represented in industries like security, 22%, contact centers, 19%, cleaning, 15%, and aviation, 11%. In terms of demographic and regional insights, 62% of Pacific service sector workers are based in Auckland, reinforcing the city's role as the economic and employment hub for Pacific communities. %33 of Pacific workers are under the age of 24, with another 27% aged 25 to 34. This means 60% of the workforce is under 35, showcasing a youthful, potential long-serving population, but also signaling a need for early career pathways, mentorship, and long-term development plans. Women make up 54% of the Pacific sector workforce, while men represent 46%. This balanced representation highlights the importance of designing inclusive upskilling and leadership pathways for both Pacific women and men. In terms of employment type, 92% are in employee roles, with only 7% self-employed and 1% are employers. This indicates strong participation in traditional employment structures, but limited entrepreneurial or business ownership representation, suggesting potential growth areas in enterprise support and self-employment pathways. In terms of Pacific learners, from 2019 to 2022, Pacific learner enrollments in service sector qualifications dropped by about 22%, especially in provider-based learning through workplace learning, although workplace learning remains steady. Most Pacific learners are enrolled in level 3 and level 4 qualifications, with very limited representation in higher level programs like level 6 and 7, which restricts long-term professional growth. Learners under 25 dominate in hospitality and tourism, while older learners are more engaged in business and professional services, and real estate, indicating career shifts and upskilling efforts. Many learners faced challenges balancing study, work, and family responsibilities. Cultural competency, flexible schedules, and strong pastoral care are essential for improving retention and success. In terms of access and equity challenges, the issues around financial barriers, transport costs, and digital access disproportionately affect Pacific learners. More flexible, accessible education pathways, including workplace training, are needed to close this equity gap. And yeah, I swear this is going to be the last data slide. So for Pacific learner enrollment data, there was 4,430 Pacific learners in 2023, the services sector. This data set captures a snapshot of where Pacific learners are engaging across education and training levels, giving us an insight into workforce development pipelines. So for levels 2 and 4, there's strong entry-level engagement. For level 3, has the highest enrollments, making up nearly 50% of all Pacific learners. These levels are foundational and often linked to entry-level service sector roles. Indicates Pacific learners are engaging heavily in accessible practical qualifications. But there's still a strong participation at lower qualification levels. These are essential, but there's an obvious need to create visibility and pathways to higher level learning. So what are some of the industry specific actions that need to be, that we really need to think about? So Pacific representation is highest in the frontline roles. Pacific peoples are overrepresented in labor-intensive and essential frontline industries such as cleaning, security, and contact centers, but are underrepresented in strategic or leadership positions. Training needs to be tailored or culturally responsive. Many Pacific workers are second language workers, second language English speakers, and also literacy and numeracy requirements are still a problem. Standard training material often fail to meet their needs. Industries like cleaning and security need visual and practical training, pastoral care, literacy and numeracy support to ensure equitable access to qualifications and advancement. Work-life balance and commitments are crucial. Supporting flexible working arrangements and culturally aware leadership is key. Leadership pathways and career progression are limited. Despite strong interpersonal teamwork skills, Pacific peoples face barriers to leadership roles due to qualification gaps, systemic biases, and limited mentorship. More targeted upskilling and pastoral support are needed to enable upward mobility. In terms of economic and cultural contribution, our economic and cultural contributions are undervalued. So while Pacific people, workers contribute significantly to the sector's GDP, such as 14.5% in cleaning, 13.8% in contact centers, 18.5% in security, these contributions are often overlooked and require recognizing both the economic value and cultural strengths is essential for equitable development. I'll now hand over to Z.
Aloha Mo, thank you so much. Hi everyone, Bula Vinaka, Malo Ulele. Happy Tongan Language Week, and if you've got any questions or anything you want to add into the comments, please do so. We'll definitely address them and connect with you after this next section. But we're actually going to do a pop quiz, so I hope you're ready, and I hope everyone has been listening quite attentively. So the first question we've got on here, and as you know, most of you have used Teams, so just jump onto your reactions to answer this next question. Which service industry has the highest percentage of Pacific peoples in its workforce? So you've got 1 of 5 options, team. So if I can see the emoticons on the bottom pop up. I can't see them, Mo, but you may be able to. Is any reactions there?
Yep, they're pretty spot on.
Pretty spot on. So what is the answer?
Security.
At 22%. Awesome. Well done, team. So the next one, get ready for this. Question 2. What percentage of the total service sector workforce is made up of Pacific peoples? You'll have to guide me in this one, Mo. How's it going?
A few hearts. We're getting a few hearts there.
Oh, nice. And the answer is then?
The answer is 9%.
9%. Awesome. Wonderful. All right. So we've got our next question here. In which industry are Pacific peoples most underrepresented in?
Got a few for aviation, some real estate.
Yep. And what's the answer there?
The answer is real estate.
Awesome.
24%.
Right. Love that. Now we've got a true or false. So it's 50-50. 1 and 2 chances to win this one, team. So what do we have here? So Pacific peoples contribute more than 13% of GDP in both contact centers and cleaning services. Is that true or is that false?
Getting a few thumbs up.
A lot
of thumbs up. Onto it.
So it is true. So we've got 13.8%. Is that right? Mo in contact centers and 14.5% in cleaning. Is that right? Yep. Perfect. And on to our last pop quiz question. We've got which of these regions has the lowest concentration of Pacific service sector workers? The lowest concentration.
Oh, they're thinking about this one. Got a few hearts.
Oh yeah.
Got a few claps. More hearts
South
and
Island.
claps.
South Island, Canterbury represent. What do you think?
Cool. Pretty onto it. Pretty 50-50 with Canterbury and Bay of Plenty.
Oh yes.
But the answer is Bay of Plenty.
Bay of Plenty. Awesome. All right, team. Well, thank you so much for participating in that pop quiz. So well done on all your answers there. We will also be sending out a copy of these slides as well at the end of the session. As Mo mentioned, in terms of stats and things that he's been talking about and sharing around Pacific peoples and how Kele'a was formed, based on our engagements, we identified 8 key themes. And you can see from here, we've got, for example, value of Pacific workforce, skills and mindset, family influence and culture, career pathways in education. We also had a really strong theme around capability building and the need for it. Also, career aspirations of our Pacific peoples, cost and access and the barriers that are associated with that, and also industry role and influence and what role industry can play to help support Pacific peoples. So if we just take family and culture, as we know, they are the central motivators of when when Pacific peoples are making decisions around education and employment. When we are thinking about these things, it's influenced by family, cultural identity, and also community values and how we might make decisions that will potentially shape our aspirations and also increase that workplace engagement. So if organizations understand this part a bit more, then that will just continue to help us thrive in the services sector. Skills and mindset is embedded in community life. Attributes like teamwork, communication, resilience, and leadership are often developed through church, family, and cultural settings. Yet, we often see that these are undervalued within the formal workplace assessments. So incorporating that, again, will uplift in terms of career progression. Which brings me to career pathways in education. These, and what something Mo had touched on about the visibility of it and it being accessible. From the themes, Pacific peoples seek a very clear, flexible education and career pathways, including recognition of informal experience and practical training options. And this empowers informed decision-making as to which career path Pacific peoples want to take. We touched on capability building, and it's that need for targeted support, the ongoing financial literacy, digital capability skills, and also mentoring are essential to unlock Pacific people's full potential in both employment and entrepreneurship, especially with a small business growth. Within Kele'a, we've actually got Pacific values of the Mana Moana framework, outcomes framework, is weaved within all of these themes, and this is what the report is anchored by. So the call to action is about addressing these issues and providing solutions for Pacifica. And the solutions, for Pacifica sit on a spectrum, and there's no real silver bullet. It's about tailoring solutions specific to the sector's workplace needs. So as we touched on before, to showcase and amplify Pacific within the service sector, one of the Ringa Hora's initiatives we had was We Be Who We See, which featured several Pacific role models from across the motu, aligning with each of these key themes. The value of Pacific workforce is one of our key themes, and we have Haiwaiki Kai Pacific Catering based out in Porirua, led by Te Mehari. What she does and her team is incorporate family and cultural traditions in its operations. The value around spirituality and respect in building meaningful connections within the community. With all the different occasions, Pacific occasions that we have, knowing how to connect with that specific community, our Pacific community, is vital. Working with no team, working with family members to help train and develop them, providing those high standards of service while navigating the diverse cultural nuances of each of her clients. We've got another one here with skills and mindset. Naibuka Civil, who represent the aviation and airport services sector. His career in aviation demonstrated a commitment to lifelong learning, and he started off as a loader at Auckland Airport, then moved into airfield safety compliance as an airfield safety compliance investigator. He pursued a master's degree in aviation, which reflects a strong belief in continuous learning and professional growth. Now he is a key communicator and mentor to fellow Pacific staff within the organisation, and that just talks to the importance of relationships and relationship building. We have another amazing group here, LM4 Group, who have got 4 different branches across the motu in Waikato, Auckland, Tauranga, and Christchurch. They're a family-owned and operated business with 3 distinct businesses under the LM4 Group umbrella. The areas of recruitment, business, and training. people-focused solutions across New Zealand. Now, they embed the mana moana values that is grounded in family and respect, because as you can imagine, business and family, there'll be agreements, but there'll also be disagreements. And so their main core value around family and respect, hearing each other out and making decisions together is crucial. And one of the key parts of their success. So balancing those business goals with family values and blending professionalism with cultural authenticity. We have here capability building. Aiwha'i Esra, who is a business navigator, business professional in Tauranga, the director of Pacific Growth Services, who's driven by a vision to honour the aspirations of his ancestors. He demonstrates determination from starting from selling newspapers in Samoa to working 12 years in the Tauranga City Council, supporting business owners by bridging councils, businesses and communities together, building capability through industry collaborations and including schools throughout his regions. He also runs a number of workshops, ready to rent and ready to buy workshops across the region to help more Pacific home ownership. We have industry and influence, and we have Rochelle Marshall, the business professional, who is Director of Honour and Impact. The focus is around empowering Pacific entrepreneurship by supporting initiatives that help Pacific businesses thrive, promote social good by encouraging businesses to use their platform for positive community impact, and advocating for collaboration to amplify the strengths of Pacific peoples and communities through shared action. And the reason why she started Honour is to amplify the meaningful impact created by our communities every day. We've got a couple more here, which is career pathways in education. We've got Pat Lapalapa, real estate agent. He turned a challenge into an opportunity and now is the #1 agent at Ray White Mangere, 5 years running. He creates pathways for Pacific individuals to thrive in the real estate industry and encourages that financial literacy and doing business the right way, making sure people are informed and supported. These values filter into respect and integrity, anchored in hard work, service, and commitment to his clients and also community. So what does this tell us about the 8 key themes, 3 key takeaways? Everyone is on a journey. We all have different journeys, so no path is the same or linear. Life happens in between. We've got our commitments to family, study, community commitments that we have to adhere to. So you might start study and then you've got something that comes up. You have to divert your focus and jump on something else. Pacific role models are so important in terms of how we can continue to showcase and amplify what they do within the community, and what it does is show what is possible for us. Here's the Kele'a report from the 8 key themes, and I'm just going to hand over to Mo on the next one.
Thanks, Z. Encourage you to, when you go into the report, read some of these stories, read some of their journey. As Zina said, the journeys are very different. A lot of them left school, life took over, and they've come back. And I think a lot of those stories would resonate with a lot of our Pacific people, the issues we face with regards to family, cultural obligations, whalawe, kawenga, whakatonga, and on all those sorts of things that it's captured in these stories. So I encourage you to read those stories. Next slide, please, Z. So what are some conclusions? Here's the bottom line. The future workforce is already here, and it's more diverse than ever. If you want to attract and keep great people, you need to understand what matters to them. That includes culture, identity, flexibility, and genuine pathways for development. This isn't just about being inclusive. It's also about being smart business-wise Pacific communities are the future of our workforce, and they're also our customer base. So investing in Pacific people strengthens both their career prospects and their overall resilience to the service sector. To drive meaningful progress, organizations should consider implementing recommendations from this report and within workforce strategies. As Zena had mentioned, there's no silver bullet to solutions for Pacific. The solutions for Pacific are complex. We are not homogenous, but rather what we have presented in this report are a range of solutions or examples that will help aid employers and educational providers to better support our Pacific peoples. Strengthen industry collaboration for unified approach to workforce development, and also consider monitoring progress to ensure Pacific workforce aspirations are met. So here's a QR code for the report for those who haven't got it yet. I'm sure we can put it into the chat after this. But please feel free to go in there and read the report. So yeah, look, Malo Aupito, thank you for joining us today. We almost made time, but that'll give us a bit more time to answer any questions that anybody has. But thank you for your time, Malo. Do you have any questions out there?
Yeah, I do, Mo and Zena.
Oh,
Fred offer here. I just want to know, firstly, what is the job, or what is the partnership with the Pacific Business Trust in regards to entrepreneurship, and how closely are they working with our people? Firstly, and is there a relationship with the Ringa Hora and the Pacific Business Trust?
oh, great question. I'll leave that to Zena and Mel, who might be on the call.
Stop sharing. Oh, no. So thanks, Fred, for that question. So in terms of Pacific Business Trust, I think I heard just in the beginning of your question about their relationship with Pacific businesses. It's probably something that Pacific Business Trust probably answer a bit more, and not us. But our connection with Pacific Business Trust is that we do have a memorandum of collaboration with them, and that's across all the WDCs with PBT. And the intention there was to connect with Pacific businesses through PBT as one platform to understand what the challenges are, the opportunities are in terms of workforce, and bring those insights back to our qualifications team to develop and improve what we already have, but also develop new if we needed to. So we do have something, for example, we have a leadership micro-credential for creative businesses around taxation that's due to be launched within this year. And that was an example of how we were able to, Ringa Hora and also Toi Mai WDC, how we were able to work with PBT and creative businesses and create a credential that was aligned with that to help elevate creative business operators, owners, in regards to increasing their knowledge around that taxation. So that's an example of how we've been able to work with PBT based on the memorandum of collaboration. Hopefully that answers your question, Fred.
Thank you. Yes.
Malo, Fred. I think everyone's hungry for lunch.
Yeah, thank you so much, team, coming at lunchtime. If there's no other chat, is there any other? I can't see anything. Sorry, Mo, in the chats.
Well, look, if you've got a question, a burning question at some time, feel free to drop us an email, a message to Zena or myself. We're more than happy to get back to you. But I'll thank you for your time, and I'll close us off with Lotu.
Just one more thing, Mo,
Wā.
before we sign off. Sorry, Mo. I'll definitely send the copy of slides, as I mentioned, to everyone that's registered here. And this session has actually been recorded as well, so you'll have a copy of that. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Anything else you need, just reach out. Over to you, Mo.
Malo, taulotu. Peko kereso tau e ko sisu Christ o whalai o tuka tau tamai. E nofo maho o whai a teki mau tolo hono kotoa. E whai peo tai ngata. Amen. Malo.
Stop sharing. You are, Mo.
Do I end the event?
Yes, end the event if you can. Sorry, my computer just got stuck, and we'll jump on the debrief one.
Okay.